Jaya's family income is dependent on the work that she does. Her partner Ian stopped work to support her in the business, and subsequent to that the business income has reduced to the point where her personal or the family's income is being supported by savings to a view of about $3,000 a month. So she's short on a surplus just to live today for about $3,000 a month and is not quite sure what to do. So here is the basic bottom line. You have to run a surplus. Okay, you have to run your personal life at a surplus. It's hate to say it, but it's a non-negotiable. If you can't get enough to look after yourself today, how are you going to be able to look after your future self? How are you going to be able to get yourself into a position where you can actually build your future freedom generator? So you have to solve it. You have to solve it. It's a non-negotiable. So what do you do when you think you've done everything you can? Well, the first thing is we're going to deal with and talk about your personal world separate from your business world. Okay. So coming into your personal life, you've got to get enough income coming in to pay for your future, to pay for your current lifestyle, and have a surplus to put aside for your future self. So when on the first or second or third run through the money planner, you can't see it there are only two ways to produce a surplus. You can either increase your income, decrease your expenses, or a combination of both, which I guess is actually three ways, but it's a combination of both to do that. But if you start with the absolute non-negotiable that you must have a surplus, okay, so that answer to say you haven't got a surplus is not okay. It's not okay. You have to find a surplus. So where does it come from? Well, when you're looking first of all at the easy areas you can cut back within the money planner, is have a serious conversation around what is truly a need versus what is a want and what is a choice in your life. And you know, Jaya, you've mentioned at least two things there already that demonstrate choices that are being made. And the first choice is that your partner Ian has stopped work to support you in the business. That's a choice. The second is that you don't want to take on more time because it compromises the time with your beautiful son. And I hear that, and they're hard choices, but they're still choices. So the reality is that something has to give and something has to change there. So what are the choices evident in what you've told me? Number one is you can bring more income in from Ian's work. Number two, you can work a little harder yourself, okay, to produce more income. Or number three, you renegotiate with your business to find a way that your business can pay you more. So dealing with your personal side, you must bring enough income in to pay for your needs for today and for the future. You must have a surplus. You either get that by increasing your income, decreasing your expenses, or a combination of both. So that's the first non-negotiable, is you personally must produce a surplus. So knowing that, what is your number? What number do you need to come in? How much income a month do you need to come in to produce, to cover enough to just survive today and have a surplus to set aside for the future? What is that number? So the first goal is get really clear on what that number is. So when you're working through the money planner, you can see what the minimum number is you need to sustain for today. And then you go negotiate with your income sources. So in this case, you've decided that it's your business that is that is going to support you. So your business must pay that to you. If your business can't pay that to you under any configuration that you really truly look at, then you've got to make other choices, such as extra work, Ian going back to work, changing your location, some harder choices that nobody wants to make, but you know, hey, sometimes life doesn't work out exactly the way we want, and so we have to find a way. But I don't believe that that is true in your case. I think that there are more options within your business that you could dramatically change that around, but it starts with knowing what your business needs to do to support you, and that becomes the first profit goal for your business. So the first profit goal for your business is, what does it need to be able to pay you that minimum level for you to be okay today and have a small surplus? Okay, so that then becomes the next non-negotiable in your business. So you start by saying, okay, this is the profit goal in the business. What do we need to do now with the business for the business to produce enough surplus, called profit, for it to be able to give you that as part of your employment condition with your business. And now the same rules apply. What expenses can you cut back on? And what incomes can you increase? Now, you made mention that every other time you've tried to do it before, it's sacrificed growth, etc. That is a block. That is a mindset, because you're looking at it with a set of eyes that believe that those are your only choices. And that is fundamentally never the truth. I happen to know a little bit about your business, and I know there's a lot of other revenue streams, a lot of other opportunities within your business that you could monetize a lot quicker. But if you start by saying, what is the minimum profit goal you need from the business? So let me just come back a little bit and go, what are you building with your business? What is the end goal of what you're building in your business? And you don't want to make decisions that are going to fundamentally compromise or cripple that end result of your business. And so the end result of a business is always the expression of two things. It's the contribution you wanted to make through your business, and making sure that your personal freedom plan is actually built into your business plan. Okay? The business, if you're relying on that business 100%, it must have those two things built in. Okay? It must have those two things built in. So that's the next non-negotiable you look at when you're asking the questions of your business. What is the greatest contribution you're looking to make, and how's your personal freedom going to be built out from that? That doesn't address the immediate answer of what profit goal you need, but what it does do is give you a grounding true north of the types of decisions that you can make in your business, what decisions you can cut away from that make no difference to the end result of the business, what expenses you can reduce that might slightly delay that end result, but they aren't going to cripple it, and then what decisions you could make that actually that fundamentally impact that long-term goal. And ideally, you want to stay away from that third option. So you keep in the business the things that are most important to the long-term goal. Everything else cut away. Every other expense cut away. Okay? Because it's not only the money it costs you, it's also the time that it takes to manage elements of expenses. It's never just the money. It's the other, not as easy to document areas that it actually impacts you, impacts your headspace, impacts your focus, and the like within your business. So reducing the unnecessary expenses in your business, and then what can you increase? And think expansively here. Think expansively. What is the highest and best use of your time? What are the things that bring in the most revenue for the least amount of time? And what are the things you can leverage? And when you look around that, you can get different ideas that come up, because the frame of reference that you're using most commonly right now is your time. So often you're seeing things that produce revenue in the business through the lens of your time, and you're seeing that as a finite factor. Such that if you're going to do more, it must compromise the time with your son. Or if you're going to do more, it's going to burn you out. That's the lens that you're seeing things through your time. But if you drop that away and say, the profit of the business must be enough to live on today and not compromise the long-term goal of the business. So what are the things that you can increase or change in your business? Okay, and you could ask a whole range of questions. What do my clients want? Okay, why are my clients coming to me? What other products or services could I add in? Who else would love to have a message or influence with my clients? Are there suppliers or customers that would sponsor or contribute in some way towards getting access to those clients, or loving your work and sponsoring some elements of that work? There is always ways that you can do that. And what I'd suggest you do here is, I'm going to give you an idea, which is two things out of this. Number one is Edward de Bono, the author and, business strategist, I guess, has got a concept called the 6 thinking hats. And if you Google it up, the 6 thinking hats, and Google up a YouTube training on it, it's a fabulous way of getting really crystal clear on what outcome you want, in this case, improving the profitability of your business to get you enough of have a personal surplus. What are the things you can do? What are the alternatives you could look at? What are some of the challenges around that? And allow you to compartmentalize different things you could look at in your business. The next thing I encourage you to do is don't do this by yourself. Get a group of, some, I'd say, friends or close acquaintances who will tell you the truth, and without agenda will bring the best of their brain power in a mastermind to help you look at alternatives around this question. Now, we actually are going to be looking at this in a group for business owners that we're going to be holding and running very shortly. And obviously, I'd love to invite you into that group. But this process of being able to invite some people with different sets of eyes to look at this differently, to give you different sets of ideas, to break beyond the view of what you see and allow you to borrow their glasses, allow you to borrow their eyes, with the sole purpose of solving this. So the major focus purpose to increase the profitability of your business in the short term, to be enough to give you a surplus today without compromising your future goal. The answers are there within you, and that's what I'd suggest you do.